Good morning, Club and Horseshoe Bay members. Today, I would like to offer you a perspective. And because the perspective I wish to share with you happens to be my own, then it is one with which at least I can claim familiarity as I dispel for you, and in some cases simply explore with you, the mysteries surrounding the straight left arm in the golf swing. Now, if you learned to play golf in this country, or likely any country in the world, and did so without the advantage of a first-rate instructor there to guide you from the outset, there's a good chance that you've been exposed to what I call the holy trinity of beginner golf instruction, which goes like this. Keep your head down, bend your knees, and keep your left arm straight. Now, I'll get into those first two in upcoming weeks, that is, head down and the knees bent, but for today, I'd like to focus on the straight left arm and remind you that there's nothing magical about a straight left arm. There's nothing occult about it. It's simply one part, not the first part, but one part of good, efficient form. That is to say, efficiency in the golf swing. Now, if I suggest then that it is part of a good, efficient golf swing, then I have to remind you that efficiency in the golf swing is measured exactly the same way as efficiency in a gasoline engine, or in an air conditioning unit, or a combustion engine. And it is very simply the rate, often expressed as a ratio, at which latent energy can be turned into effective work. Blah. Now, some of you engineers might poke a hole in that definition, but for our purposes, I think it will work just fine. Efficiency is the turning of every single movement into advantage and the elimination of waste power. And so the question becomes, what then does a straight left arm do to add to efficiency in the golf swing? Well, it really does two things. Number one, a straight left arm furnishes the ideal conception of maximum swing width. That is to say, as big and powerful of an arc as possible. If I have this golf club close to my center and I start turning clockwise and counterclockwise, and then with each successive swing begin to extend my arms wider and wider, increasing the radius of the swing, that is the distance between the center of the circle and the outer edge, by the time I get to the very outer edge of that arc, maximum width, the club is traveling as fast as it potentially can. Why? Because it's traveling a greater distance in the same amount of time. That equates to increased velocity. And so that's the first thing it does. But the second thing it does is it adds simplicity. Now, to me, simplicity is just almost another word for efficiency. It is the stripping away of everything not needed to perform the task at hand. And so in the case of the straight left arm, provided it starts straight, it should stay straight because its job is simple. Why is it simple? Well, because it just stays on a track. It travels back in one motion and back toward the ball in the other. And so it doesn't have the complex movement of the right arm to deal with. It doesn't have to fold and straighten and add zip and pop. No, it stays on a track. And so why add to this equation one extra hinging part which doesn't do anything to add to leverage? And so if there's no upside to it, why throw one hinge in the mix? And so two reasons why the left arm adds efficiency to the golf swing. Let me summarize that and say it again. The left arm stays straight so that you can achieve maximum arc, and it stays straight throughout the backswing and downswing so as to bring about greater simplicity, another word for efficiency. Now, by this time, you might say, well, shoot, Bobby, I thought you were just going to dispel all this. You act like this great Trinity had nothing to do with real golf. And there's one thing that I haven't yet said, and that is that between 25 and 35% of us probably, a straight left arm is simply an impossibility. Take my case, for example. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see against the background of my shirt the condition of my straight left arm. That's my straight left arm. That is straight as gravity will straighten it. To straighten beyond that sets up muscular tension, because that looks extended to you, that feels hyperextended to me. That's my straight left arm. And so for me, my job is to understand that my straight left arm actually has 2 to 3 degrees of observable bend in it, and provided I maintain that same 2 or 3 observable degrees of bend in my arm throughout, then that is the arc that I'm going to have to live with. Is it 100% efficient? No, it might be a degree or two less than that, but it's the best I can do, because I can tell you from experience over the years when someone has been playing golf with me and they happen to be having a better go at it than me and I just can't find my swing, they have said to me lots of times, hey Bobby, just appease me and do me a favor and completely straighten your left arm. And yielding to persuasion, mostly because I'm tired of groping in darkness and trying to figure it out on my own, I have tried to straighten my left arm and played some golf that way. But the result of these experiments have always been the same, and it is the result I've come to expect, which is, no matter how well I may straighten my arm to replicate the straight arm of the man who's giving me this advice, The effect of it was destroyed. The benefit of it was eliminated because I simply couldn't relax. And so my message to you is this: you need to have a straight left arm up to the point where you can no longer relax. Stay just short of that, and that will be your straight left arm. And once you've done it, that's yours. You can put it to bed, forget about it, and go on to something more meaningful to your golf swing. And before I close here, I do want to remind you all, and I forget to do this every week, if you like this video, please subscribe below. Just hit the subscribe button. And also, some of you are telling me that you've got friends who would like to get on this mailing list. Well, if you're not a member at the club, you can't be on the mailing list. However, what you can do so that they don't have to wait on you to email them the video every week is just send them this and remind them to subscribe. And then you're off the hook. That way they subscribe. Every time I upload a video, it goes straight to them. And I want to thank you for watching, and I appreciate your continued support. And if I can ever do anything, you let me know. Thanks a lot.